In today's video, we would like to discuss potential monetary policy changes coming from the Bank of Japan. The Bank of Japan is using very different monetary policy compared to other developed market central banks. If we think about policy in places like the UK and the US, central banks have increased interest rates as we've seen inflation rise. And that's very much different to what we see in Japan. Japan currently still employ negative interest rates in the region, and they look to cap yields on government bonds. And the reason that policy has been so different in Japan is because the macro backdrop has been so different. But Japan is looking to change that policy for three main reasons. One, Japan has always been a region where they've struggled to generate inflation, and that's changed following the COVID-19 pandemic, where inflation has been positive and above target on a more sustained basis. So inflation nowhere near the levels we've seen in places like the UK and the US, but it's at 3% above the bank's target of 2%. The second reason is linked to the first, and that's that we're generating positive wage inflation in Japan, which they've struggled to do in the recent past. The third reason why Japan is thinking about changing its policy is because of the weakness of its currency. Japan is an importer of goods such as oil, so with falling currency, that makes those imports more expensive. To give some context to the weakness that we've seen in the Japanese yen, it's fallen about 12.5% versus the US dollar and 13% against sterling. So the combination of these things is making the bank think about changing its interest rate policy. However, those on the committee are divided in whether they should change. Some believe that the changes that we've seen to inflation and wage inflation aren't quite yet fully entrenched for that to be generated on a sustainable basis, whilst others believe that given the change in policy backdrop, that would justify changing the policy that they are enacting. So we'll find out how the bank changes policy on the 31st of this month when they come for their meeting. So thank you very much for watching today's video, and we'll catch you in tomorrow's episode.